Dear learners, welcome to this MOOC on the course Sociology of Health and Illness. I am Maureen Kalita, Assistant Professor of Sociology Department, KKH-SOU, and today in this video, we will be discussing medical pluralism from Module 2. So we will go on by discussing about the learning objectives. After going through this unit, you will be able to firstly, understand the meaning of medical pluralism. Secondly, know the issues related to medical pluralism. And lastly, know about the trends and practices of medical pluralism. We'll start off by discussing the concept of medical pluralism. What is medical pluralism? So, medical pluralism can be defined as the employment of more than one medical system or the use of both conventional as well as complementary and alternative medicine, which is called CAM in the context of health and illness. The term was first introduced in the mid-1970s when the people resorted to various options for health care apart from the government healthcare system, which was based on biomedicine. Now we come to the concept of traditional medicine, also known as CAM. Traditional medicine is defined by WHO as diverse health practices, approaches, knowledges, and beliefs incorporating plant, animal, and or mineral-based medicines, spiritual therapies, manual techniques and exercises applied singly or in combination to maintain the well-being as well as to treat, diagnose or prevent illness. These CAM includes medicinal practices like Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, Unani, Siddha, Tibetan medicine and so on. All of these medicine practices coexist in societies. Over time, globalization, migration, and the spread of information have facilitated the exchange and integration of medical practices, leading to the contemporary phenomena of medical pluralism. Now we come to discuss about the systems within the traditional medicine. So there are two kinds of system. One is codified. In the codified system of traditional medicine, knowledge has been codified either in the form of pharmacopoeias or ancient scriptures. The codified system of traditional medicines includes practices like Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Sowa Rigpa. Sowa Rigpa is a Tibetan medicine practice, and homeopathy. And the second system is non-codified. Here, knowledge is transmitted by oral means and is mostly acquired through trial and error approaches. It is developed according to local needs and resources of any society or any cultural context. The system thus differs from region to region and is given different names like folklore medicine, little traditions, indigenous medicine, and so on. Now, we need to understand how these medicinal practices, both modern and traditional, exist together. At the same time, questions might also arise on which practice is modern and which is non-modern, and who decides it. Who has the authority to decide that this society will follow the modern techniques of medicine or the non-modern techniques. Officially, medical profession is defined as one which exercise monopoly with exclusive competence in regards to its work. Its aim was medical qualification should generate a general public belief in its competence and should be handled by expert authority. In other words, medical professionals aimed at monopoly. However, social scientists pointed that there can be a pluralism of the profession. Now you can think what is the purpose of medical pluralism. So the purpose of medical pluralism is to provide more efficient treatment to every section of the society, to all categories of people, addressing different kinds of disease situation. In other words, to improve the health status of people, medical pluralism plays a very important role in the society. Charles Leslie, he advocated for the integration of these practices into healthcare systems to expand treatment options and improve the patient's outcomes. Medical pluralism enables the consideration of not only physical symptoms but also the mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions of health. By embracing diverse healing traditions, healthcare can become more patient-centered, address the individual's overall well-being rather than focusing solely on the disease treatment. Finally, the final health of medical pluralism is that it recognizes that healthcare is not a one-size-fits-all approach and allows individuals to access care that aligns with their cultural backgrounds and personal preferences. So some people may not be comfortable with the modern medicine or allopathy. So if they stay in areas where there is access to traditional medicine or traditional medical practitioners, they can take help of them to cure their illness. And now we go on to addressing the changes in the landscape of traditional medicine. To cater to the public traditional medicine practices, it went through many changes. For instance, Ayurveda as a system of medicine went through many changes during the pre-Vedic period, Vedic period, colonial period, then in the post-independent period, and again in the neoliberal era with the coming up of globalization and neoliberal policies. Each system of medicine also tries to incorporate elements from other systems of medicine. For instance, Ayurveda gave rise to Siddha medicine in Tamil Nadu. Now, how did this happen? So, Ayurveda believed that what is best in the local region would provide the best cure for any kind of illness. In Tamil Nadu, because of the availability of certain types of resources, Siddha medicine emerged in that state. Similarly, during pre-colonial period, Mughals and other rulers brought Unani medicine from Persian and Arabic countries. So there was a lot of interaction during that period between Unani and Ayurveda. Now we will discuss in detail regarding the medical pluralism during colonial period. So we all know that the colonial rule of the British Empire brought about significant changes in the country. Not only in the social and economic structure of the society, it also changed the healthcare landscape of India, impacting the indigenous medicine system while introducing Western medicine. During this period, medical pluralism in British India can be understood through the following aspects. There was the dominance of Western medicine. With the establishment of British colonial rule, Western medicine, influenced by the biomedical model, gained prominence and became the dominant healthcare system. Even with the dominance of Western medicine, indigenous medical systems such as Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, and traditional folk medicine continued to be practiced and preserved. Indigenous medical practitioners known as Vaidyas, Hakims, or traditional healers played a crucial role in providing health care to its local population. They utilized the traditional knowledge, herbal remedies, and therapeutic processes rooted in their respective medical systems. In certain instances, there was also the collaboration and synthesis between Western medicine and indigenous medical system. However, though indigenous medical system continued to exist alongside the Western medicine, there was limited integration or recognition of traditional healers within the formal healthcare system. Some indigenous medical traditions faced suppression or marginalization, with the colonial authorities considering them as inferior or unscientific. The medical registration was thus denied to Indian system of medicine, also known as ISM practitioners, and the allopathic doctors were deregistered for being associated with the ISM institutions. This, as a result, led to protests across the country against such British policies which abhorred indigenous system of medicine. During this time, the continued support extended by some wealthy patrons led to the establishment of many ISM training institutions across the country. So what happened during the scenario of independence and post-independence? After independence, there were different perspectives and ideologies regarding the development of indigenous system of medicine. Post-colonial India witnessed the preservation and revitalization of indigenous medical systems alongside the continued presence of Western medicine. There was a renewed interest in recognizing and promoting indigenous medical systems such as Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, and Siddha. The Indian government established separate departments and institutions for the development and research of traditional medicine systems. Overall, there was a positive perception about the Indian systems among the policymakers. The various merits of ISM recognized by policymakers were: the people of the country had faith and belief in the systems. The country had rich biodiversity to provide for traditional medicines. The emphasis of ISM was on ensuring prevention of diseases and adopting healthy lifestyles. For these above stated reasons, the ISM was considered a potential support for public health in the country, along with the continuation of modern medicine practices. Now, during that time, there were also committees for planning the health services in India. For planning health services, 2 committees were set up. The British colonial authorities in India set up the Health Survey and Development Committee, also known as the Bhore Committee, in 1943. Now, the Bhore Committee, which did not have even a single representative of these indigenous systems, showed a contemptuous attitude towards indigenous system of medicine and also termed it as unscientific. One more committee, called the Chopra Committee, was set up in 1946 to plan for Indian system of medicine, ISM, in independent India. The committee recommended mutual learning between allopathy and the indigenous system, some practitioners of each being given education in the other, so that all the systems could be enriched and evolve into one integrated knowledge system. There was also the development and deployment of other committees, namely the Health Survey and Planning Committee, led by Mudaliar in 1961, Chadha Committee in 1963, Kartar Singh Committee in 1974, and so on with the coming times. As a result, there emerged a compromise between allopathy and the indigenous system of medicine. From all the discussions that happened in all these committees, the allopathy and the indigenous system of medicine came into a contract or compromise about the practice of their medicinal practices in the society. So what happened was, the prime focus, though, was given to modern medicine in a hierarchical order, practicing other medicine practices was also made official. For instance, the Department of ISM&H, which is also known as Indian Systems of Medicine and Homeopathy, was created in March 1995. The department was renamed as Ayush, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy in November 2003. The Sowa Rigpa system of medicine, which is a centuries-old traditional medical system, originated from Tibetan medicine, which I have already mentioned in the earlier half of the chapter. It also got included in the Central Council of Indian Medicine in the year 2012. The Central Council for Health and Family Welfare in 1999 recommended the posting of one ISM&H physician at every primary health center, and vacant post for allopathic doctors was to be filled by one of the ISM&H physicians. The council also recommended establishing specialized ISM&H treatment centers in rural areas and a separate wing of ISM&H in government hospitals. Traditional medicine systems thus experienced a resurge, if you can say, in popularity among the Indian population. There was an increased recognition of the holistic and preventive approach offered by traditional healing practices. People sought traditional medicine for chronic diseases, lifestyle disorders, and also to promote overall well-being. In 2002, the World Health Organization came up with its strategy on traditional medicine, and concurrently the national policy on ISM&H emerged. As a result, ISM&H experienced an enormous growth in institutions and their pass-out registered practitioners. In 2007, there were 485 colleges of Ayush and 5,06,229 institutionally qualified registered Ayush practitioners. Now we come to the next subtopic, commercialization of Ayush in the global era. ISM&H in the neoliberal and globalized era has been influenced by various factors such as market forces, globalization, technological advancements, and changing healthcare paradigms. This era has witnessed both opportunities and challenges for medical pluralism. The neoliberal era has seen the commodification and commercialization of healthcare. Traditional healing practices and CAM modalities have become part of healthcare market, with their products and services being bought and sold. For instance, there has been a growing demand for healthcare products from Patanjali, Baidyanath, and so on. Now we come to the last section, which is medical pluralism and the challenges it faces. Even though CAM is getting prominence with time, the work done by its practitioners is generally undermined, and the whole department is looked upon as secondary to allopathy. Ayush systems are often criticized for the lack of scientific evidence supporting their efficacy. So, integrating Ayush systems with modern medicine also poses challenges. Differences in diagnostic methods, treatment approaches, and philosophical frameworks between Ayush and modern medicine can hinder their effective collaboration. Also, Despite many efforts to promote Ayush systems, there is still a lack of awareness and understanding among the general public and healthcare professionals. Some people may perceive Ayush as traditional or alternative approaches with limited scientific backing. Addressing misconception, raising awareness, and promoting evidence-based practices are vital to enhance acceptance and utilization of Ayush systems. The treatments of Ayush and medicines may not be widely covered by health insurance, making them financially inaccessible to many individuals in the society. Thus, addressing these challenges requires collaborative efforts from various stakeholders, including policymakers, researchers, healthcare professionals, as well as the Ayush community. To conclude, it can be said that though the neoliberal and globalized era has provided opportunities for medical pluralism to thrive, allowing individuals to access and choose from diverse healthcare approaches, it also presents challenges related to regulation, standardization, evidence-based practice, and ethical considerations. Balancing the benefits of medical pluralism with the need for quality control and patient safety remains a crucial task in this era of neoliberalism and globalization. Before ending this video, let us go over the main points discussed in this unit. So we started off by understanding the concept of medical pluralism. Then we moved on to discussing the various medical systems, including the modern medicine and traditional medicine. Then we moved forward to discuss the ideas of traditional medicine or CAM in detail and also its subsystem, which includes the codified and the non-codified medicine systems. Then finally, we moved on to discuss the purpose of medical pluralism and the position of traditional medicine in the society. This took us to discuss on the power relationship involved between the practice of modern and traditional medicine. And then we moved on to the challenges of medical pluralism in the society. So with this, we come to the end of today's discussion. Thank you, learners.